Hi, I'm Eric Johnson at Vanderbilt's Owen Graduate School of Management, and I'm here today with Lynn Good. Lynn is the CEO of Duke Energy, and she's been spending the day with us here at Vanderbilt. Thanks for joining us today.
It's really my pleasure. Thank you.
So for a company that's been around for over a century, and of course an industry that we all know has been around for a long time, there's a lot of change going on, and customers expect different things from Duke Energy than they did 10 years ago. How do you think about that?
Eric, it's so true. Our customers today are empowered customers. You think about the iPhone, you think about the nature of the service delivery that they're receiving from other companies and other industries. They are helping define what a customer experience is. So for Duke Energy, they want more options. They want more information. They want to have input into how the power is delivered. They want us to communicate with them, not through a monthly bill, but through a text message or the web or other social media areas. So that requires investment for us. Historically, we have provided an undifferentiated product, and now more differentiation is required, and that takes investment for us. It also takes cultural change for our employees to really care more deeply about the customer's experience and not just the delivery of power. And so it's a big conversation at Duke. I think it's a big conversation for any industry going through transformation, because I see that transformation being led by the customer, and we'll be successful if we can delight the customer.
And of course, customers, they see that part of your business. There's a huge part of their business that they only partially see, that thing we call infrastructure. And yet that's a huge investment for you, an area that's constantly changing. How are you thinking about infrastructure in this change?
Yeah, I think infrastructure for our business is critical for our success. And as we define a future of a more modern energy delivery system with more technologies, more renewables, battery storage, plug-in vehicles, the infrastructure that enables all of that has to be modernized. I think about the wires and poles that many of us see. They were built for a different time. They were built for a time when I generated power and delivered to you. Now you may want to generate and deliver back to me. And so the technology, in order to make that possible, is something that requires investment. So we need to invest in order to keep the transformation underway, in order to delight our customers, in order to enable the technologies that we're putting in place. And so whether it's renewables or physical and cybersecurity or new customer expectations, all of these things are creating a need for the infrastructure to be modern, to be updated, to be enable these new technologies. And so it's just essential to think about that infrastructure investment as an important part of defining the future of energy.
A huge investment for your firm and for your shareholders.
It is.
So you hinted at the energy mix that Duke invests in every day, and of course there's change there too. Gas has become a much bigger part of your portfolio, and there's a lot of change. How does Duke think about that as we move forward?
So investments in generation are important investments that we spend a lot of time focusing on, because we want to be happy with those investments in 2030 and 2040. Natural gas and renewables are the areas that we're investing in today. We think that's important for us to continue lowering our carbon footprint. But I also should mention nuclear, because Duke is one of the largest nuclear operators in the U.S., proud nuclear operator. And we believe it's an important part of our mix as we go forward. And continuing to invest in those plants to maintain them as long as we can is important. So this modernization of generation will continue, and we're continuing to work on clean energy sources, natural gas and renewables, of course, but nuclear continues to be important.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your career. You've had an amazing career from your time as a public accountant and then now in the energy industry. Can you tell us a little bit about a leadership lesson you've learned along your career?
It's been a long career, but one that's had lots of detours and changes. I think that's consistent with many leaders. It's not a linear path. And so I spent 20 years in public accounting, and then I moved into industry around 2002, 2003. And as I think about it, there have been many opportunities where I have had to pick myself up and keep going. So resilience, perseverance, really keeping focused on what's next has been important for me. I was an Anderson partner, and the firm between March of 2002 and May basically went out of business. There's no time for mourning. You just have to keep going.
Wow.
And so, those are opportunities that we all have. And what I have learned along the way is important and foundational to my happiness is connection to friends and family, keeping the right perspective on where the career is and how important it is, but always being willing to change, always being willing to go to the next thing. And I think that's important as you think about your students. They're going to see a lot in 30 years, a lot of different opportunities, and that perseverance and resilience I think will be important.
Well, Lynn, thank you so much for spending the day with us at Vanderbilt.
It's really been a pleasure. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.